UFC's the battleground where warriors collide. Die Hard MMA podcast, we won't hide. Clint's gonna dig deep, analyze each brawl from the underdogs to the champions standing tall. The fury, let your instincts rise. Feel the adrenaline rush, it's time to defy. Die Hard MMA, we're in it for the thrill. Get ready for the madness. Let's make that bankroll spill. Let's make that bankroll spill.
What is going on, degenerates? Welcome to the Undefeated Post-Weigh-In Show. I'm your boy Clint, coming to you late night episode here on a Friday evening, and that's because apparently we're doing Perth time. UFC is headed out to Perth for this week's fights, and because of that, the ceremonial weigh-ins just ended about 15-20 minutes ago or so, and your boy had to check them out. So since I had to watch them before I could come do this show for you, we're doing late night tonight. Not my first option. I prefer not to do it this way, but hey, you know, you got to do what you got to do. I got to give the people what they want, right? So we had to go ahead and lock in late. What's going on, everybody? Thank you all so much for being here. As usual, please do me a favor. Hit the like button, get subbed here on YouTube or on any platform that you're following me on. Share the show, get some people in here where the rest of the night owls at. What's going on? How about that? What's going on, Colby, Saul? Appreciate you guys being here. All right. Everybody knows the show is powered by cloudbet.com. Please hit that link in the description below. They have got a $2,500 rollout welcome bonus for you guys just for being a fan of the Die Hard MMA podcast. Promo code Die Hard MMA will get you the opportunity for up to $2,500 in bonuses. And then at the end of your bonus period, you actually will have gambled to build up your own vault with additional bonuses that will release at the end of that first month of your play. Hit that like button, everybody. Get that link in the description below. Get signed up at cloudbet.com. And thank you. Tell them thank you for being a Die Hard MMA podcast fan. What's going on, everybody? Matlock asking, how's the weather in Minneapolis? I got to tell you guys, it is wet right now. It is wet outside, but this ain't Minneapolis. I'm actually a transplant fan, right? I'm sitting over here in Arizona. It's been raining cats and dogs outside all day today. The weather has been absolutely gorgeous. You know, I got to tell you, the one thing, though, I'm a huge fan of rain. Maybe it's because I grew up in a desert, right? Like maybe I just love rain. I love thunderstorms. I love watching lightning. But people can't drive. We're so dry here. Nobody has any idea what to do on the road as soon as it gets even just the slightest bit wet. And I got to tell you, if you guys have never visited Arizona, the heat makes people angry. We're just like naturally bristly out here. Everyone's just a little prickly, a little standoffish because we're hot and sweaty all the damn time. You put those people on the road behind a machine that can drive 110 miles an hour, and they're not nice people. So you got to watch yourself on the road as is. And then when it's wet, these idiots don't know how to slow down. They don't know how to turn. You get people hydroplaning all over the freaking place. It's a mess. You have to be very careful when you drive out here when it rains. What's going on, everybody? All good, Matlock, all good. Vikings fan. Of course, everyone assumes I'm in Minneapolis. The reason I've told the story a couple times. I married into it, right? The girl I was dating in college, her family was Vikings fans, hardcore from Minnesota, moved out here because of like health issues and allergies. The heat was supposed to be better for them, that kind of thing. So I married into a Vikings fan and got addicted tuning in every single Sunday. Let's see here. You show Shimon fight. No, I am breaking down the UFC card tomorrow. We're not showing any fights on this podcast. We're talking fights, we're talking betting, we're talking picks. Hope you stick around. Chris, what's going on, buddy? Appreciate you being here. Polly, how's everybody doing? All right, let's get down to brass tacks because we got some fights here to talk about, you guys. I am stoked for what's left of this card. We have lost like 6 different fights this week. We are now officially Toffaless after the last couple of cuts, right? People getting sick, people missing weight. It is what it is. Let's get after it. First fight of the night, we've got some women's MMA action. We have got Loma Lukbunmi, and she is taking on Alexia Thayanara. Both women came in at 115.5. Now, don't let this image fool you here. Alexia likes to get into her opponent's grill. I love the smile. I love the attitude. She's one of these people who is just far too happy hurting other individuals for my comfort level, right? She is a true fighting psychopath. And frankly, that's the kind of person we love to watch. Love the braids. Absolutely love the braids. But she is a decent bit larger here than Loma Lukbunmi is. She's naturally going to be far stronger. She's a BJJ black belt. She's got nasty God-given power in those hands. Man, Loma, don't get me wrong. Speed, technique, poise, grace under pressure. Loma's got all those boxes checked. But we've seen her struggle mentally a couple of times. We've seen her doubt herself outside the cage, and that gives you question marks, right? This girl Thayanara has Anthony Smith levels of self-belief. Like, she's not going to doubt herself even for a half second, not even for a heartbeat. So I am on the Thayanara side. Now, if you guys are following along with me and you're using cloudbet.com to check out these numbers, Thayanara is a decent sized favorite coming into this one. She's a nice, pretty minus 240 to start the night. And while that does seem like maybe it's a little bit steep, like, part of me kind of feels like it's justified. Like, we've seen Loma Lukbunmi edge out 29-28 decisions in the past. We've seen her really kind of have to fight for her life, tooth and nail with some of these women to be able to go ahead and get it done. And I just don't know if she's going to be able to do that here against somebody who's got a huge grappling advantage, somebody who's got a strength advantage. And then I really feel like the pop in the hands is going to be the deciding factor. Like, when they end up crashing, when Loma gets in close and into the pocket, I don't think she's going to like the heat coming back her way. So, I got Thayanara. I think that Thayanara is going to be doing very, very well. My boy Nigel, what's going on, buddy? Appreciate you being here. Distinguished D-Gens, let's freaking go. Appreciate you, my buddy. All right, let's keep it rolling, everybody. Second fight of the night. This one a little bit more, well, I don't know if it's more random than the last one, but kind of. We've got a very intriguing fight here against Brando Parasic. I do not know how to say that guy's name. Taking on Elisha Elson. Heavyweight action, 261 for Brando, 236.5 for Elisha. And this one is intriguing because Brando legitimately looks like he belongs in a different weight class. This is one of those fights where you look at these boys face off and you're like, bro, you're light heavyweight. Like, just look at him. You're a light heavyweight. Now, that's not saying anything because we've seen people like Rashad Evans, compete at heavyweight on The Ultimate Fighter, drop to 205 after, his first couple fights in the UFC. He did fine. So the more skilled guy tends to win out in that situation at the lower level, that kind of thing. But you can't ignore the size difference here. The other part of this for me is that I have no idea what to expect from these guys. This is a fight that was very, very low on my list as far as my research went for my breakdowns and stuff like that. And it's only been a week, but I haven't even thought twice about these guys. So I'm kind of even struggling to recall the tape that I watched here on this one. They're both relatively young. It's a Dana White's Contender Series fight that got bumped up because they lost so many fights on this card. They're like, hey, instead of having them fight on Tuesday, let's just move them to Saturday, right? But you do have the one guy that's supposed to be the hometown guy. So, man, I'm going to side with the big man. I'm going to side with Brando. That's the way that I'll look here in this fight. But again, zero confidence whatsoever on that one. He's minus 220, minus 225, somewhere in that ballpark. Ain't touching it, guys. Ain't touching it. Big old sloppy heavyweight fight with a couple of guys that go out there and look to slug it out early. Neither of these guys likes to get paid by the minute, frankly. So this one could be over, and it could be over in a hurry. The next fight, however, is one that I am a decent bit more intrigued by, which you guys know me. I'm a complete degenerate, and somehow I always think I've got an edge on women's MMA fights. It just is what it is, right? We've got my girl Luana Dread Carolina, and she is taking on UFC newcomer Michelle Montague. Now, Montague is not young. Okay. That's one thing I want to get out of the way here early. I've kind of critiqued that a little bit. Like, she is not some prospect that's coming in here at, 26 years old or something like that. She's 30. So it's not like she's a young prospect coming in here, but she does train at a good gym at ATT. She is working with Kayla Harrison, and Kayla Harrison showed her the secrets, guys. The big question on this one was she going to make that weight cut? Because she has not fought at 135 before. She comes in at 134 and a half, and boy, howdy, does she look good. I mean, she didn't even look like she struggled as much as I expected. You've got Luana Carolina, 136, who normally cuts down a weight class below. So you've got one of these weird ones where you got someone heavy coming down, you got someone lighter coming up. They end up sizing up pretty well. As you guys can see, they square off pretty solidly here in this spot. But the thickness is the difference, and not Colby thickness that we'll talk about here in a minute. But the size, look at the shoulders, look at the back. Michelle Montague is so much thicker than Luana Carolina. Now, she hasn't been tested at the UFC level, and that really is the problem, right? Like, that is the issue in this fight, is that she has yet to be shown the UFC level, so we're not entirely sure what to make of her coming into this fight. But at the end of the day, I don't know how much it matters. You have got this absolute stud grappler who's coming in here, and she's got 6 wins. 6 wins by sub, 6 wins by finish, 6 wins by rear naked choke specifically. And she's going to have a monstrous size advantage and a grappling advantage, you guys. We're getting close to even money, a little bit better than even money. If you look at the numbers over here on cloudbet.com, you're getting plus 181 for this sub prop. That's the way to look here. Michelle Montague by sub. I hate to say it, like, I don't want to say it's a lock. I don't want to say it's free money. You know what I mean? But like, I really feel like that's happening. That's got to be the move here. I think Michelle Montague making weight. We don't need the tinfoil hat. She actually made weight, right? We don't need the tinfoil cap. Her making weight was what I needed to see. And with her making weight safely, solidly, looking good, feeling comfortable, she's going to have a decent size advantage. She's going to have a decent strength advantage. She's going to have an edge in the grappling. And I think that's just going to be too much. Unfortunately, I love my girl Dread. Can't walk with you out there this time, lady. This would be a good spot for a live bet, though, because if Montague starts to tire out, if she starts to slow down, if Dread's able to, keep her hips back and sprawl and brawl and that kind of thing, then you jump in on Luana live. It's that simple. You can just punt this one live and go, you know what? We were all wrong, but halfway through round 2, you're going to realize who's got the momentum if Luana is able to pull that off. So pretty simple fix if you get in early on the sub prop and then roll the other way live. What's going on? Ben says Mont is a beast. Gonna ragdoll LC. And yeah, I kind of agree. All right, guys. Next fight, Colby Thickness, and he takes on Josias Musasa, the knockout wizard himself. 135 and a half on the dot for both of these women. No, both these men. My bad. I'm still on the women's MMA. That women's MMA on the brain. My bad. These guys size up pretty dang well. The problem here for me is the Musasa's deficiency in his technique, right? You've got Colby Thickness, who's a pretty hot prospect, who's pretty well-rounded, who trains with some really good people. And then Josias is somebody who is just all physicality, all piss and vinegar. He wants to go out there and smoke you as early as possible. And I just don't know if he's got the skills to back it up. If he touches your chin, you're dead. Like that's the whole thing with Josias. He really is a miniature little Francis Ngannou. But if he isn't able to hang with you technique-wise, if Colby goes out there and slows the pace down, if Colby uses that footwork and moves around and avoids the big shot, I think he wins this fight. But this one's very tough, you guys. I got to be real with you guys right now. A lot of the fights on this card are ones that I am not interested in betting. It looks like a really good card from a betting perspective because these lines are so close. We are so used to minus 275, minus 320, minus 600. Like, you got to anchor parlay. You got to parlay 3 guys to get even money. Like, it's really tough on those cards to trust some of those chalky price tags. But on this card, you're thinking, man, I've got good prices. I want to throw some money around. I want to get in there. I want to gamble my face off because I can. But for me, I'm looking at some of these and I'm going, you know what? These fights are too close to call. these fights are extremely dangerous and they really could go either way. And I don't know what to do with them. Well, that's where I'm at right now, especially with this fight here. I'm going to lean towards Colby. I think he's slightly plus money at this point. But that's all I got for you. Musasa is supposed to just, touch his chin at some point at minus 155. I'm not laying minus 155 to find out if he can death touch a guy. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I'm not going to have any betting action on this one. I'll lean ever so slightly to the dog. My guy Nigel Lee says, if your call on Montague sub comes through, you called it, and it's not one of your bets, I will be very upset with you. And Nigel, my boy, tip of the cap, always looking out for me. That has been something that has plagued me all year, is I found a spot like that, especially on a prop where I have felt relatively confident, where I felt relatively comfortable. And I talk about it on this show. And then I still somehow don't end up locking it in. I find myself either just like spacing it because, I got to go tuck the daughter in for the night. And I've got, family duties and stuff that I got. So I end up like slipping my mind. And when I lock my bets in, first thing in the morning on Saturday, I end up just kind of letting it slip, unfortunately. Not this time. We're doing it. We're getting the Montague sub in there, my guy Nigel. Appreciate you looking out for me. I really do. Don't you worry. We will go ahead and get that one in there. Moving right along, everybody. Please, again, guys, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Get subscribed if you haven't. Share the show out. Do your boy a favor. Jamie Malarkey takes on Rolando Bedoya. 156 for both men coming in here into this fight. And, this one's tough, you guys. This one is so tough. They size up really, really well. I actually kind of expected Jamie Malarkey to have a little bit more of a size advantage coming into this one. Rolando Bedoya is a fighter who I'm hyped on. Rolando Bedoya is a guy who I really want to see succeed. I love the way he fights. I love his attitude. I love how he just dives face first into his opponents. But he's 0-3 in the UFC, and it's really hard to trust him in this spot. It's hard to trust him on the road as an underdog in enemy territory after not ever having landed a UFC victory. Jamie Malarkey, guys, looked fantastic on the scales today. Let's be real. That dude has been hanging out with Cowboy Cerrone between fights, right? Like I've got a feeling that he took some extra sauce leading up to this one because he looked phenomenal. He had a full-on like keg going on for his 8-pack abs. This man looked absolutely incredible. No, not 8-pack, 8-pack, right? Like don't get it twisted. Let's not flag this video here. I really have a hard time with this one because I want to pick Rolando Bedoya. I want to trust the youth. I want to trust the kid who's got the higher ceiling, who's still theoretically improving. That's who I want my money on in this spot. I don't want to trust the chin of Jamie Malarkey. I don't want to count on Jamie Malarkey coming out here and grappling in a fight where I wish he would just be the better striker for the entire 15 minutes and not have to worry about the durability. This is the butthole pucker of the week, because if you bet on Jamie Malarkey in this spot, he's going to make you sweat every single second of that bet, because at any point in time, this kid who can put up 200 significant strikes over the course of a 15-minute fight could touch him on the jaw at absolutely any moment. And that's my fear. So I'm going to pick Rolando Bedoya, but I'm probably not putting my money on it, you guys. This one is too close. It's too tough. It's too sketchy. I really hope Rolando Bedoya saves his UFC career and gets the upset victory here for this fight. And then we get to see a little bit more of the kid, right? If he announces himself with a thunderous KO and picks on poor Jamie Malarkey's chin, one more time for old time's sake, I would actually believe it. I'd feel bad for Jamie. I like Jamie, actually. I'd feel bad for Jamie, but I would very much enjoy it because I want to see the kid do well. Next up, you have got Navajo Sterling. Oh, geez. No, my bad. Getting ahead of myself. Cam Rouston takes on Andre Petrowski in the next fight. 184.5 for Cam, 185.5 for Andre Petrowski. This one's tough for me, you guys, because I am a never Petrowski backer. You know this. You know this about me. I do not like Andre Petrowski. And look at the size difference. I know size is not everything. Size is not everything in mixed martial arts, but look how much bigger Cam is. My goodness. Andre Petrowski took this fight on short notice. It's a tough cut for him. I don't know how much longer he's got left in the UFC, alternating wins and losses against the tough low level of competition. He's settled in as a bit of a gatekeeper. He's a very, very high level grappler. He is solid grappling, but I still just can't wrap my head around the durability issues. I can never forgive him for the problems with his durability, right? That haunts me. That straight up haunts me. It's a bit of a problem for me. Cam, while he is not an exceptional grappler, what we did see in his fight on Dana White's Contender Series is he knows how to get up. He knows how to get up. Now, there's a huge difference. Let's not get this twisted. There's a massive difference between Torres Finney and Andre Petrowski. Petrowski has far more UFC experience. He's older. He's bigger. Like Torres Finney is tiny for this weight class. So this is still a step up in competition. It absolutely is. But what we saw in the Torres Finney fight is he was able to constantly keep himself safe in those bottom positions, work his way back to the fence, work his way to a standing position. And then as soon as he was able to get up onto his feet, he started going to town with what he knows is going to pay his bills. And I think this could really be a problem for Andre Petrowski coming in here on short notice. If he starts to slow down, if he starts to tire out, I think Cam Rowston's the kind of guy that can spark him. I really do. You've got Andre Petrowski and a lot of people willing to go out there and trust him at this price tag. Man, I was betting him as an underdog against some of the worst guys on the UFC roster. There's no way I'm laying minus 185 on Andre Petrowski. It's just not going to happen, you guys. So this is a mandatory dog or pass situation for me here. And frankly, it's a spot where I would be looking at like the round 2, round 3 type of stuff. I think Cam is going to have a really tough first round in this fight, and then he's going to have to kind of punch his way back into it. As Andre Petrowski starts to slow down a little bit, then he can finally have some success, and we'll see what happens from there. But it's got to be dog or pass for me. I'm sorry. Can't do it. All right. Keeping it moving. We got some more big boys coming up here. We have got Navajo Sterling, and he is taking on the absolute meme fighter himself, Rodolfo Bellato. It's a tough spot for me here, you guys. No, it's not. No, it's not. This is not a tough spot for you. This is the easy one. This is the one I like. This is the one I love. I absolutely can't stand Rodolfo. But no, okay. It's not personal. It's not personal. I don't have a problem with Rodolfo Bellato. He's a meme machine. This guy comes forward. He stands in front of his opponents. He just wants to slug it out. He will take your best shot to try to return his, and he has to come back from the verge of death every single time to try to push his way back into a fight. So he's already got a no contest. He's already got a draw. He got flatlined by Ihor Potieria. The UFC knows exactly what they're doing in this spot. This is an IQ test. If Navajo Sterling is anything, if he's going to be anything, he's going to spark this man in the very first round. It is that simple. If he is anything at all, he destroys this man in the first round. This is Navajo Sterling's coming out party, you guys. I love this spot for Navajo Sterling. I see the human sacrifice that the UFC is very purposefully trying to set up here in this spot, and I like it. I think Navajo Sterling is a guy that I'm looking at parlaying. I haven't finalized my card here, you guys, but Navajo Sterling is a guy that I'm looking at parlaying. And frankly, if you take a look at the props, you're getting plus 143 here on the KO prop. I think that's the way we look at this one. If you're not looking for the parlay, if you don't want to tie him to anybody, you just take the knockout prop. I think the knockout prop is absolutely the way to go. My guy Nigel says, being a former wrestler, Finney being so strong and compact, that low center of gravity, that was a tough fight for Cam. Petrowski will not give that much problems. Body type matters. Couldn't agree more, man. Could not agree more with that. And that's a valid point. I try to remind myself that low center of gravity in the hips and stuff like that absolutely does matter. I wrestled in like elementary school. I gave up on wrestling when I got to high school. So I don't have nearly as much experience. That's one of those little things that I got to kind of check to remind myself, because I'm used to going to my back and looking for arm bars, right? I'm a jiu-jitsu guy these days. All right, guys. Next up, moving right along, we've got Tom Nolan and Charlie Campbell kicking off the main card of UFC Perth. 155 for Tom Nolan, 155.5 for Charlie Campbell. I've talked some trash about Tom Nolan. I've talked about how I don't really trust him. I've talked about how I've got problems with his durability. I've got problems with his experience. Like I've said all kinds of things, but he's come out and really kind of showed me new life. He showed levels He showed the ceiling. He's shown what he's capable of as a fighter. And I'm kind of in on the Tom Nolan train at this point. He's got a very good frame for the weight class. He's big, he's tall, he's long. The defensive capabilities really is kind of the big thing. He was running face first into people's punches, looking for highlight reels. He's not doing that anymore. His last 3 UFC fights, he's been incredibly technical. He's been very defensive. He's mixed in the striking with his grappling. Like, he's been spectacular. So this is a spot where I think it all kind of comes together. And I know Charlie Campbell's a good fighter. I don't have a problem with Charlie Campbell, but we've seen this guy iced before. And I think the levels are just different here. As far as we have got a diamond in the rough in Tom Nolan, and then we've got a guy who's going to be fighting for his life at the bottom of the list in the UFC in Charlie Campbell. So I'm going to be on the Nolan side of things here. I'm looking at how far this line drops down. Right now, you can get like minus 148, I think, on him, minus 145. Like, that's kind of the ballpark where we're looking here on Tom Nolan. And I really do feel like a small price tag on Tom Nolan is good. A small price tag on Tom Nolan is good. All right, guys, do me a favor. Please smash that like button if you are still here with me. I appreciate everybody tuning in late here on a Friday night to go over UFC Perth one more time. The card kind of fell apart, and that kind of sucks for all of us degenerates and MMA fans. But hey, we're still going to find a way to have some fun with it. So appreciate you guys being here. Next fight up, you have got Jake Matthews, and he's taking on Neil Magny, 170 pounds on the dot for both of these men. And frankly, they're both veterans at this point, are they not? Like, Jake Matthews is no longer some young kid growing up in front of us. He's a 30-year-old man. He's officially in his prime as a fighter, and he's got a ton of experience under his belt at this point. Neil Magny has gone the way of the uncle, right? A little bit long in the tooth, a little bit old, been sparked by a couple of the young up-and-comers, been submitted by some of the people that have real grappling credentials over him. But he showed us in his last fight that he's still got some juice, right? He absolutely still can take people into the depths and just put them through hell. He's fully capable of grinding on you the way that he used to. Like, I still completely get behind Neil Magny here in this spot. I don't hate it, but I can't say that with my whole chest, you guys. I really can't. The problem is he's old. The problem is he's worn down. Jake Matthews is streaking at this point, and I don't have the kind of confidence in this one that I did on, some of the other spots on this card, but I think we have to look at Jake Matthews by submission. I think you have to look at Jake Matthews by submission. I really want to go to war with Neil Magny one last time, you guys. I really do. Checking out cledbet.com, you have got plus 372 by way of sub here for Jake Matthews. He is the favorite in this spot. He is a decent sized favorite in this spot. I can see Magny winning this fight, you guys. I really could. I could see Magny winning this fight because Jake Matthews refuses to grapple. That's my biggest thing with Jake Matthews is even after all this time, even after all the seasoning, he still just goes out there and does whatever the hell he feels like it on the night. He's not a guy that goes out there and follows a strict game plan. He's not a guy that goes out there and, does exactly what his coaches tell him to do. And he can end up in some weird positions and some weird situations because of it. In his last fight, he got a sub because it was gift wrapped for him. It literally was silver plattered to him. Chidi was like, hey, you want a submission victory? Here you go. If Neil Magny doesn't do that, I don't know that Jake grapples the way he needs to win this fight. So, this is another really, really tough one where I think Neil Magny wins this fight if Jake doesn't grapple. It's exactly like the Chidi and Jaguani fight. If Jake grapples, he wins. If Jake doesn't grapple, I think Magny is a super live dog in this spot. He's not the dog of the week or anything like that. I'm going to need to watch. I'm going to have to look at this one live. This one is circled for me, you guys. This one's massively circled for me as a live betting opportunity because if Neil Magny survives round one, and if Jake Matthews is not hunting the grappling, if he's not looking for those submissions, if he's not trying to hit takedowns, if he's not doing all the things that I absolutely need to see him doing in order to win this fight, and Neil Magny is hanging around and he's getting his own grappling going. But frankly, if you've got takedown props, I think there's a look there. I think Neil Magny could hit a takedown on Jake Matthews, you guys, because he likes to go out there and wrestle, and Jake is more than happy to play off of his back. We've seen it a million times. I could see Neil Magny hitting at least one takedown in this fight, but he's a live bet opportunity for me. I gotta pick Jake Matthews. I gotta pick Jake Matthews. I gotta pick Jake Matthews by sub. I just can't do it with my hard-earned cash because at the end of the day, I'm not sure he's going to follow the game plan to actually get it done. And I've been burned by Jake Matthews one too many times. The next fight up is, believe it or not, since we lost the Taffa fight, we have now got Jack Jenkins and Ramon Tavares. And this is where, man, disappointment. Ramon Tavares is pulling a full Anthony Rumble Johnson here. He went full Brian Battle coming in here into this fight. He's moving up a weight class and he misses weight moving up a weight class. Now, I used to think this was some kind of maybe an advantage, right? Like with what I always cite is Anthony, right? Anthony Rumble Johnson was so freaking big that he blew straight through 185 pounds and he went all the way up to 205 and was still knocking people's heads off at 205 pounds. Like his body absorbed every nutrient he put in it and he blew up the second he started stopped robbing himself of nutrients. Now, maybe this is a similar situation, but what's been happening recently with these kinds of guys is it's a lack of effort. It's a lack of professionalism, and he's not blowing up because his body was getting starved. He's not blowing up and becoming just this absolute monster under the bed at the next weight class up. He's unprofessional, and it's probably his last fight. Like, that's usually what happens here, right? Like, Brian Battle got cut immediately after that. Good for him. He went and got some bare knuckle boxing, and he signed by the PFL. I'll be excited to watch him fight over there. But, like, it's kind of a see you later type of move these days, right? So I am not banking on this man coming in here, missing weight, and having some kind of distinct advantage over somebody who's a natural weight class above him. So even though Jack Jenkins is the slightly smaller man in this spot, you have got a boxer versus a brutal kicker. And when you've got a boxer who's going to stay heavy on that lead leg, come forward, try and get in the phone booth, try and press you, try and get their hands to work, and you just kick the ever-loving crap out of their calf. Like, I'll take the kicker. You know, I want the kicker in that scenario. I really do. So it was Jack Jenkins for me earlier in the week. I like Jack Jenkins. He's a big favorite. He's nearing in on minus 300 at this point. And I really do just think we're going to go ahead and stick with that. It's not the end of the world. I'm probably not going to do anything crazy with it. I'm probably not going to parlay, my ass off with it, but I wouldn't be shocked to see another leg kick TKO. That's what Jack Jenkins does. This guy goes out there and beats people to hell with his legs, and he sprawls and brawls and makes sure they have to stand with him. And it usually turns out pretty well for him against a guy who's barely surviving in the UFC and probably going to get cut and missed weight. Yeah, I'll take Jack Jenkins. Next up, you got the big boys. We got the dog of the week too. Jimmy sorry about that, guys. Where'd my thing go? Jimmy the Brute Crew takes on Ivan Erslan. And I know I buried the lead. I know that's not exciting, right? I didn't give you the big wind up. I didn't break it down. I didn't sprinkle the mystery. Most of you guys follow me, right? Most of you guys saw me on Monday. Most of you guys follow me on social media. You know, and I'm very pleased. Very, very pleased to see when these guys square up that Ivan Erslan seems like very much the naturally larger human being. Size, not everything. I know, size, not everything in mixed martial arts. I'm ready to get my money back, you guys. I'm so ready to get my money back. Jim Crute comes out here and he goes balls to the wall. He spams in round one. That is the only thing that man does. And then he falls completely apart. He gets figured out. You see the panic in his eyes. You see his eyes get real wide all of a sudden. He gasses. Like, it's a bad look when Jim Crute does not get the fight done in round one. He's taking on a man with tons of experience, a man with 25-minute experience in non-UFC platforms, so full championship 25-minute fights, something Crute could never dream of going. He stays calm. He's a good wrestler. He's a good counter defensive wrestler. He's a very good boxer. Ivan Erslan is going to have the power advantage here, in my opinion. Now, when Jim Crute, like, if both these guys stood in front of a punching machine and they both bit down and swung as hard as they could, Crute probably puts up a bigger number, right? So, like, don't get me wrong. Crute probably has more power. But when these guys are boxing, the cleaner, harder shots are going to come from Ivan Erslan. When Jim bites down and says, "Send it," he probably lands with more authority in that situation. But when they're in there trading, like when they actually start going blow for blow with each other, I think Ivan Erslan is going to be doing the more damaging shots. He's going to be more precise. His punches are going to be cleaner. He's going to be landing at the right spots, and he's the bigger man. I love this spot, you guys. That's my Link Memorial dog of the week, baby. We're going to go ahead and go with Ivan Erslan. Now, somebody immediately responded when I put that pick out there and was like, Jim Crute, round one. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. And that's the whole thing, right? Jim Crute, round one. If he's going to win this fight, is he winning a 15-minute decision? No. This guy quits in every single one of his UFC fights. If he's winning a fight, he's finishing. He's knocking out somebody. He's Peruvian necktying somebody. Like this guy's good on the ground. He's very aggressive on the ground. So if he is winning the fight, he is winning by finish. And if he is not winning by finish, it's probably not going to end well for him. So I like Urslan. I like Urslan late round props, actually, you guys. Like I've got a feeling this fight goes a little bit deep. And if it does go deep, I think he can get a round 2, round 3 finish once Jimmy Crute starts to go ahead and slow down. Now, believe it or not, we are very near the end of our card with that fight because we lost so many of them. That's the co-main event of the evening. So, guys, I'm going to ask you one more time to please do me a favor, hit that like button, give me some support, hit that button down in the description of this video, and please check out our sponsor, cloudbet.com. Again, up to $2,500 for the rollout welcome bonus when you guys deposit and sign up using promo code DieHardMMA. And the best thing you can do for me is hit that link in the description below. Goes a long way to help me out. They just gave away seats to the PFL tickets over in Abu Dhabi. So like, I'm not sure what else you guys could want from this organization. They're doing a lot of awesome stuff. They're helping us out. They're sponsoring the pod. Could not be happier. So thank you. Shout out to cloudbet.com. And I hope you guys get in there and gamble it up. And I still hope one of you guys won that giveaway. I really do, because that'd be freaking cool. All right. It is main event time. We are talking about my guy, Dom Reyes, the Phoenix himself, taking on Carlos Ulberg. These guys size up really well. And you can see my guy Dom Reyes does have ever so slight the size advantage here. You love to see it. And one thing that's not getting talked about enough out there, you guys, is the cool hat equity, right? No, I'm not talking about my bucket hat, right? These guys that come from different cultures and they rock awesome hats, they just win. They just, right? If you come from some mountainous region and your people wear a fuzzy hat with a spike in the middle of it, like you're just built different. You just come in here and wreck shop in the UFC. We've seen it over and over and over again. You always back the cool hat, and cool hat equity here is on the side of Dominic Reyes. He came out rocking the Crocodile Dundee. If you're old enough to understand how much that means, this guy is like Steve Irwin, except he'll whoop your ass. He is not a peaceful human being. Crocodile Dundee was the freaking man. So Dom Reyes has hat equity to go along with everything. I love this resurgence that he has going on here. I am very, very excited. I'm going to root my boy home. The problem is, you guys, I can't justify a bet. I can't justify a bet here because I worry about the chin. I worry about the damage. Dom Reyes at plus 200 has paid me out his last couple of fights. We've been doing real well with this resurgence on this 3-fight run here with Dom Reyes. I called it when he got a step down in competition. He was going to nuke some of these guys, but he's been fighting guys who have some issues. He's been fighting guys with durability problems. He's been fighting guys who are a little bit long in the tooth, right? Like that's who he's been facing in his last couple fights. Now he is taking on a prime Ulberg, a guy who has really reinvented his game, a guy who can do it all, whether it be point fighting, whether it be power striking, biting down on the mouthpiece and calling it a day. Like he can do all of that. And you don't really want to be in that game with him. You don't want to bite down on the mouthpiece and slug with this guy because he's got brutal, vicious power. If Dom Reyes' durability can be trusted, I think he wins this fight, you guys. I think he's very, very live here. I am extremely tempted to take a shot on Dom because I think Ulberg is going to take this fight a little slow. I wouldn't be surprised one bit if Dom decided he wanted to wrestle a little bit to slow the pace down. A title shot is on the line here, and I've frankly never been an Ulberg guy. Like, since you guys know how much money I've lost on Ulberg, I've faded him every single step of the way. I was betting absolute bums, guys like freaking Alonzo Minifield, who I guess the bum is too strong of a word. He's proven he's actually legit at this point. But I'm betting guys like Alonzo Minifield and under against Ulberg in his early UFC run, right? So I have not ever been an Ulberg guy. And I feel like this is the point where if you want to sell high, you sell high, and you do it this weekend. I don't know if I can get to the window. I don't know if I can get to the window. I'm in too big of a hole for 2025. It has not been a good year gambling for your boy. If I was riding high, right? If I could just set my nuts on the table and tell you how amazing I am and how much money I've stacked up sports betting this year, I'd probably take the shot on Dom Reyes this weekend. That's the truth. That's the truth. But in the position I'm in right now, I need to stack some chips. I need to get myself a win. I don't know if I back the guy who's in enemy territory, who's got durability concerns. I'm not sure I can get to it. So I want to pick Dom so bad, you guys. I want to pick Dom so bad. That's all I got for you, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here for the Undefeated Post Weigh-In Show. Shout out my guy Nigel Lee. I will make sure I get in there, and I will be betting the Montague by sub prop. Don't you worry. That one is happening. Absolutely. I think, guys, I might be doing a 2-leg parlay Navajo Sterling with Alexia Dayanara. That's the one that's been looking at me all week. Maybe we do Michelle Montague. That's the thing. Like, I want Navajo Sterling. Maybe I do. You know what? Maybe I do Navajo Sterling by KO, and I just do the ladies, Dayanara and Montague. Just go with a women's MMA parlay, and then take the KO prop for for Navajo Sterling and his coming out party, because you never know. You never know what you're going to get with a Adolfo Pilato fight. Cam Rouston probably gets a little sprinkle from me. Tom Nolan, somebody I'm looking at. Jake Matthews by sub. Jack Jenkins. I'm already on Ivan Erslan. Erslan's the only bet that I've actually made this week, you guys. Everything else is theoretical at this point. And then Dogger Pass main event with Dom Reyes, but don't necessarily know if I'm going to do that. Nigel saying don't put Dayanara in the lays. Why not? I think she's got a big advantage a lot of different places, man. I know she's new to the UFC, but I believe in the Dayanara. And with that, I will say Dayanara to you guys. Ah, you don't have any idea how long I've been waiting to pull that one off. Thank you for tuning in to the Undefeated Post Weigh-In Show. Please check out cloudbet.com. Good luck on all of your degenerate gambling tomorrow. Help you guys make absolute piles and bring me along with you. Let's roll.